Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me today on this greatest of days, this national holiday, my mother's birthday. If you don't believe all that's true, ask her, and she'll tell you. So, happy birthday to the best mother anybody ever had. All right, now, after that, let's get our Bibles and go back to the 30th proverb. We'll be starting in the 24th verse today. And Agio is going to use here four examples from nature that can teach us the value of wisdom and how wisdom ultimately it brings blessing, brings success on us. And we have, again, these four creatures, kind of a various mixture of creatures. But beginning in verse 24, he says, "There be four things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise." Number one, the ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. Ants are wise enough; they have the understanding, the preparation, the discipline it takes to work all summer, work when there is food, and store it up. And they do that because what makes them so strong, it says they're a people. Now, obviously, they're not people, but what it means is that they work together. They are a family. And if we would like to be successful and demonstrate even the wisdom of an ant, we plan ahead. We're disciplined and we're willing to work endlessly with others to accomplish our purpose. Verse 26, he says, "The conies are but a feeble folk, yet make their houses in the rocks." The conies is not what we would call them today. He's talking about a badger, a specific badger, one in that Middle Eastern area that is probably more like a rabbit than what we think of as a badger. And what lesson do we learn from it? He says they're feeble, but they make their houses in the rocks. They are wise enough, smart enough to make their homes in somewhere that they are safe from larger animals. And so the lesson there is the wise person protects himself. He does what he needs to protect himself from the dangers, whether they be physical or spiritual or whatever. He does what is required to protect himself. The next example are locusts. The locusts, none of these are real glamorous examples, but I think you see the point that is being made here. The locusts have no king, yet go they forth all of them by bands. Locust, again, another example. He says, who find their strength, they're wise enough to stick together, work together, even though they don't have a king. They don't have a leader that guides them, that takes them, and they research has shown how they will get up early in they start out early in the morning, then just scores of them will head out in the direction that the wind is taking. They have been known to fly basically all day long, covering over 1,000 miles at a time. There's actually accounts of them blocking out the sun. There would be so many in the sky that they stick together, and pretty much they're pretty much unstoppable when they get going, and can completely wipe out a crop. But as bad as that is, the example is that they work together, even without a leader telling them to. They know the power of working together. And then finally, the last example, the spider taketh hold with her hands and is in kings' palaces. Here, this final example is not an eight-legged spider like we think of, but a lizard, a gecko, like on the Geico insurance commercials. That's what is actually being referred to here, and he says they can be, you can taketh hold with their hands and is in king's palaces. These things are, they're just minuscule and extremely small. And many times, even here, I don't necessarily know that they're geckos, but small lizards. I've seen them inside of buildings. You just pick them up in your hand and carry them out. But again, their hands, their feet, whatever they are spongy, like sponges, and they can go up. If you ever seen one, they run up and down a wall. They can, there's nothing pretty much that they can't climb. They take hold with their hands, is what it's talking about, and. I think what we're referring to here is how they have the confidence. They, again, as it says, they take hold with their hand, and if they want to, they'll go in the king's palaces. In fact, we had one in the church a few weeks ago, and had to catch it. And Archie actually caught it and put it out in the yard. They're not the least bit bashful. They'll go wherever they want to. And so we have four animals here, four creatures. I don't guess they're animals. Four things in nature that teach us about wisdom. The ants, their unity, their preparation. The badgers, who take care of themselves, protect themselves from, make sure they're cared for. The locust, again, another example of unity. And then the gecko, the lizard, and I mean, even if you don't agree with that definition, even a spider, spider's the same way. It'll go wherever it wants to. You can find a spider most anywhere. They're confident. So today, I hope you'll think about those things and how God's used those to give us an example of who we should be, working in unity, prepared, confident, careful. And in particular, I want to focus on the confident as we wrap up today. If you're a child of the King, if you've been saved by the grace of God, you can have confidence to walk right into the King's palace. And one day, we're going to gather on the other shore and be in the King's palace. I hope that encourages you and excites you today. And we'll see you here tomorrow morning.